And now it's time for the game we call Not My Job. Some people are called Hollywood royalty, but Dakota Johnson really is. Her grandmother, mother, father, and stepfather are all movie stars, but unlike other royal heirs we might mention, she has gone out and earned her own title. She was the star of the blockbuster 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, and she's become an actor, producer, and activist with a new documentary coming out and 2 feature films in the next few months. Dakota Johnson, welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Thank you for being with us. I like old Hollywood stories and am just amazed by, I don't know what to call it, but your pedigree. Your grandmother was Tippi Hedren. Your mother, Melanie Griffith, your father, Don Johnson, they broke up, and then your mother married Antonio Banderas. So you grew up. What was that like, if you can even put a description to it?
Well, I would tell you different things that I tell my therapist.
Okay.
No, I had an incredible life growing up. I traveled a lot. I was always on set, and that was incredibly fun and special. I learned to drive when I was 9,
Wait a minute, why?
Because, for the first thing, it was on a golf cart, and that's how my dad would get from his trailer to set. And so I learned how to drive a golf cart, and then I learned how to drive the car, because that's the obvious next step.
Yes. Yeah. And then
or learning how to play golf.
Either.
No, because that's so boring.
I have young children right now, and I know that for young children, the world is just the world around them. They just assume that's what the world is like. So in addition to, of course, living with your parents, you also saw them on screens. You saw them on big films and television shows. Was that unusual to see your mom, say, just be someone entirely different? I'm thinking again of you as a young child.
I don't know. There's something so special about her and her artistry and the way she performs. And I think when I was younger, I was like, yeah, that's my mom, and I can tell that she's really good, but that's my mom. So, okay, let's move on. And I'd rather watch, some other
Could you offend your parents? Your dad's like, oh, Nash Bridges is on tonight. And you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I'd rather watch the OC, Dad. I'm still a kid.
It's a kind of rebellion. All right, this is sort of a related question to you watching her in movies. We understand, I read somewhere that your mother has seen 50 Shades of Grey 3 times.
What?
You didn't know that? We read that somewhere.
That's not true.
It's not true? Well,
no, that cannot be true. Why would that happen?
I don't know. That's why I brought it up.
She's your mom.
I thought it was a little odd. I mean, I'm very proud of my children, but
there's no chance that is true.
Okay, we will.
That would be that would be psycho.
All right. So 50 Shades was your first enormous hit. Did your family have any advice about becoming a huge star?
My grandmother, she was like, you're going to get asked a lot of questions, and sometimes someone will ask you a question, but you don't always have to answer just because somebody asked.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, so I'll just be quiet. And I remember having these really uncomfortable moments where I didn't want to answer a question, so I'd say absolutely nothing. Not a word, and the person thought that I was malfunctioning or having something.
Yeah, that's not allowed. You're supposed to blather mindlessly. Don't you know the rules?
Yeah, or you're supposed to say some really clever response that answers but doesn't answer, and then tells the person that you're not answering the question and to move on or get out.
And you just sat and stared at them in silent judgment.
Yeah, I was just like, well, she said to not say anything if I didn't want to say anything, so I'm not going to say anything.
I'm also guessing that the junkets for the 50 Shades movies had more than the usual share of questions that you don't want to answer, right?
Yes, especially in certain countries. Germany was weird.
Yeah, I bet.
Can you tell us more, Fräulein, about that?
Nine.
Real, of all the countries, Germany was the weirdest?
I would like to show you a video and get your reaction to it. I made it myself.
Scary. I had not seen the movie. I'm going to confess. So I watched it this week.
Oh.
And
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm okay. One of the many things amazing is I have never seen a movie with better production design in my life. It's so. I mean, put aside the sex.
That cannot be true.
No, really. Because oh my God.
That's insane.
No, like Christian's apartment is amazing. Have I just not been around enough? I don't know.
I mean, have you ever seen another movie?
Drag him.
Really? Oh, wait a minute.
Dakota, can I say I think you're prepared for any question?
Yeah, I know. Wait a minute. And if I understand correctly, I'm just supposed to stare at you in silence now. All right. Well, Dakota Johnson, it is an absolute pleasure to talk to you. We have invited you here to play a game, and we are calling this game.
Welcome to the Dakotas, Dakota.
Oh, God.
We assume you were named. Yes! Yes! That is the attitude that we were hoping for. We assume.
Oh, God.
We don't know. We were assumed you were named Dakota because of the natural beauty of South Dakota, or maybe her sister state to the north. So we're going to ask you 3 questions about these other Dakotas. Answer 2 out of 3 correctly, you'll win our prize, the voice of anyone you might choose in your voicemail. All right, Bill, who is Dakota Johnson playing for?
Andrew Scott of Detroit, Michigan.
All right, here's your first question. Mitchell, South Dakota, as I'm sure you know, home of the world's only Corn Palace, right? Famous Corn Palace. The Corn Palace, which is not a palace made of corn, it's just called the Corn Palace, is such a beloved institution that which of these things really happened in 2004? A, when it caught fire, patrons in a nearby bar ran out and extinguished the flames with their beers. B, in 2004, it got a grant from the Department of Homeland Security to protect it from terrorists. Or C, the only question in the interview segment of that year's Miss South Dakota pageant was, why do you love the Corn Palace?
I'm going to go with C, Peter.
No, it was actually B. They got a grant from the Department of Homeland Security to protect the Corn Palace from terrorists because terrorists hate our freedom. All right. All right. So maybe you've gone to Mitchell, you've seen the Corn Palace, you're looking for another fabulous tourist attraction in South Dakota. Well, you could go to which of these? A, the world's largest ball of dryer lint in Aberdeen, South Dakota. B, Highmore, South Dakota, statistically the most average town in America. Or C, Gettysburg, South Dakota, whose slogan is, where the battle wasn't.
Ooh. A.
You're going to go for the world's largest ball of dryer lint.
Yes.
I'm afraid it was C. It was Gettysburg, South Dakota. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Damn.
You could. I'm just going to say you could win it all. We're just going to make it all or nothing with this last question.
Yeah.
All or nothing. Changing the rules. I don't care.
Should we make it so that if I lost 2 out of 3, then I win?
Yes.
Mathematically, that's the same thing at this point.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
North Dakota, of course, doesn't want to cede all the glory to its neighbor to the south. So which of these was a way that North Dakota once promoted its own highlights to the world? A contest that offered $1 million to anyone who could shake the hands of every resident of North Dakota. B, a video game where in North Dakota is Carmen Sandiego. Or C, a government-produced romance novel in which a career woman from the big city finds love in the arms of a roofing contractor in Minot.
Well, B made me laugh, so I'm going to choose that one.
That's always the right thing to do, Dakota. Yes, that's the correct answer. The game was created by teachers in North Dakota in honor of the well-known game series in 1997, and as far as anyone knows, only 3 copies of it now exist.
But wouldn't she be easy to find since there's nothing there?
Yeah. You just look for anything sticking up above the tree line, and it's probably Carmen Sandiego. Bill, how did Dakota Johnson do in our quiz?
Well, Dakota got 2 out of 3 wrong, and this week that means she wins. Congratulations.
Dakota Johnson is an actor, director, producer, and museum curator. She is also the voice of Cher Height in the new documentary, The Disappearance of Cher Height, which is out now, and I recommend highly. Dakota Johnson, thank you so much for joining us on Why We Don't Tell Me. Thank you so much for being with us. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Very smart,
Bye.
Dakota.